Hello everyone, we're going to be doing a hallway drawing here. So if you remember, the first thing I asked you to do is draw the furthest thing away from you, which is typically the end of a wall, the end of a hall, or a doorway. So that's what I'm drawing here. The next thing I'm going to do after I establish this is find two angles where the wall meets the ceiling and the floor. Using those two angles, I'm going to put them together, and where they merge is where I find my vanishing point. I am now able to use that off the four corners of where the walls, ceiling, and floors meet to describe my ceilings, my two walls, and my one floor. What I'm going to do now is mark some marks on the ceiling edge and be able to connect that to the vanishing point to describe lines that come out from the ceiling tiles. I can now understand that the ceiling tiles get smaller further away and larger closer up. So now I'm drawing horizontal lines that cut across the ceiling that get further and further apart the closer they get to us. Now I'm just enhancing the lines there. Now I have ceiling lines that come at me. The next thing to do is I'm marking out where there's all like partitions in my walls. For example, where maybe doorways are or where lockers stop and start. That helps a lot. I'm also going to be erasing areas where the walls bump in. Bump-ins work really easily by actually drawing horizontal lines across. If there's a bump-in, you might need to move the wall line back a little more. I'm now establishing, in review, my lockers. I'm drawing one line, bringing back to the vanishing point, selecting where the end of my locker is. Now I'm finding the center of my locker, shooting that back to the vanishing point. And just like the ceiling tiles, I'm selecting lines that get closer and closer together to give you the illusion that the lockers are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. I'll do that for the front lockers and the back lockers. Now I'm going to create the doorway that exists here. And again, the vertical line is always to where I think the height is, but then the horizontal line that goes down the hallway always goes back to the vanishing point. Now I'm going to draw the other side of the wall, and I can actually use the lockers I already drew on one side to help me know and establish where the lockers on the other side need to be. This is true for like when you're sitting in the middle of the hallway, like I am in this scene. But in some other scenes, it might not be the same. So you always got to go with what you see in front of you and describing how much wall you actually see on one side of the hall compared to the other. Now again, I'm going to establish the height of my lockers, shoot a line back to my vanishing point, tell myself where the lockers end, find center points where the top and bottom lockers lay, and again, you can see those marks I put in help me describe how the lockers get smaller and smaller. Gives me a good pace. At this point, I'm just going to put in some extra details like the baseboard. Again, I'm using the vanishing point when it goes away, and I can establish the baseboard throughout the whole layout. These are the details you'll see the more you do a drawing. You'll see what you have left to draw. That's it. That was a pretty speedy thing. I hope that helps.